Hi, I'm Vince Leggett. I'm the founder and the president of the Blacks of the Chesapeake Foundation, based in Annapolis, Maryland. And for the last 30 years, we have been documenting the contributions that African Americans have made to the maritime and seafood industry. We write books, we do documentary films, we work with colleges, universities, and public, private, and home schools. Again, because we have a belief that teachers can't teach what they don't know. And so a big part of our work is trying to put supplemental materials of instruction into educators' hands. The Chesapeake Bay itself is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And what I have found is whether you have a doctorate degree or a postdoctorate, or a fourth grader standing on Martin Luther King Boulevard, USA, you can't find the on ramp to this multi billion dollar Chesapeake Bay game. I say because it's a closed shop. The 30 years that I've been going around the Chesapeake Bay, and I think I've worked with every alphabet organization on the Bay, starting with A all the way to Z. I worked with them all to some degree, less or more. What I have found is that how does one participate? People can see all of the cars up on the freeway, but where's the on ramp? So, one of the things that we try to do through Blacks of the Chesapeake is take some of the mystique out of how do you access funding? How do you become an influencer? And so not only is the Blacks of the Chesapeake an educational organization, a historical organization, but advocacy is also a part of the work we do.
Talk a little bit about your experience working on the Eroding Histories film. Explain to people what it is and what it was like being a part of that.
We've been involved in four major documentaries over the last 11 months. One was through PBS called Becoming Frederick Douglass. Another one was called Visions of Harriet Tubman. And I would say that I was one of the few subject matter experts and social commentators that crossed over on both of these national publications. Because what people know about is the lighter parts of Frederick Douglass with the white silver hair, sitting in an armchair, a liaison to Haiti, a postmaster general in D.C., an orator. They know Harriet Tubman, and they knew more about her time in Albany, New York, and in Canada. But people didn't know about their early beginnings on the Chesapeake Bay, Douglas in Talbot County, Harriet Tubman in Dorchester County, Blackwater, Bucktown. So that's what those movies focused on. Then there was another movie called The Water's Edge, and it was not only a historical look. Alexis Agray put together that documentary film, and it looked at the Turner family down in Bellevue who owned oyster processing plants, and they looked at African American boating and yacht clubs, the Seafarers Yacht Club out of Washington, D.C., where Mary McLeod Bethune worked with President Roosevelt's uh, wife to provide access to blacks on the Anacostia River. The Seafarers Yacht Club in Annapolis had to have their own because they were denied access. But one of the ones that was dearest to my heart was like a people's film, and it was by uh, producers Rona Cabell, Andre Chung, and Sean Yost. These are all movie producers, filmmakers, writers, editors, and they did a movie called Eroding History in the lower shore of the Eastern Shore. And what the record shows is that the rate of sea level rise is going to be more aggravated on the lower eastern shore more rapidly than anywhere else on the eastern seaboard. It was low bottom land, high reeds, and high mosquitoes. And even during the period of enslavement and pre and post Civil War, poor people, limited resource people lived on the water's edge. You couldn't grow tobacco on it. And so they always were marginalized down in the creeks, in the hollows, in the necks, in the canals, in the branches. They were never in the high ground uptown. And whether those were schools, Rosenwald schools that were built following the Civil War, and this was a fund through Julius Rosenwald, Sears and Roebuck's out of Chicago, and Booker T. Washington all came together to try to enhance a downtrodden people, because our record shows is through state sponsored. We couldn't read, couldn't write, didn't have records. We were counted among the hogs and the chickens. I have 4 Negro boys, 2 shovels, 2 horses, 8 wagons, and 8 chickens. We were in that inventory, and we were denied access. And so, whether it's the schools or the church houses, and so down in Deal Island, Somerset County, again, one of the poorest counties. I mean, people hear about Mississippi as one of the poorest counties in the United States and one of the highest percentages of African Americans, but we don't have to go to Mississippi. We can go to the Maryland Eastern Shore to a Somerset County. And the same demographics, the same health disparities, the same educational disparities, the same amount of money per pupil that's spent on Black and brown students versus minority students. And so all of these indexes, and I'm trying to paint a picture of what the living conditions was, not only topographically on the water's edge with ditches and sea level rise and saltwater intrusion and failing wells and ghost forests. Again, just the impact that salt water has on wildlife and on human ecology. And so there were churches over here in Deal Island, Macedonia churches and others. And we did a documentary film just showing caskets and vaults floating down Main Street. Buildings, wooden buildings, salt air, water's edge. There's a lot of maintenance and repair. But it also just talked about the sense of community and how individuals were striving, trying to preserve their history and heritage. I know for myself, I go to more funerals than baby showers. I mean, I'm 70 years of age. This is all that's left of me. But again, I think that our lived experience, our griots, the storytellers, the truth tellers in our communities are vanishing at a rate more rapid than the water's edge. And unless we capture those stories and pass them down, there's going to be gaps in the record.
Oh boy, the Admiral of the Chesapeake, Vincent Leggett. Folks, when you see him on TV, you just know that you got the extended version today. Man, I appreciate your thought leadership, your subject matter expertise, your time, and your contributions, and for what you're doing for telling the story and telling it right. I appreciate you.
Thank you, my friend, and thank you for this platform. And you do great work yourself, and just around climate justice and artificial intelligence. And I mean, you are really moving the needle in the industry. And I look forward to walking hand in hand and heart with you, sir, so we can tell a more complete story. And God bless you for the contributions you make as well.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
All right.